Okay, so what we saw earlier, right? All these are browser API. Okay, so let me get my pen and okay, so now I can write. This is a browser API. Okay, let's imagine this is a browser, right? This is a browser. Okay, this is a what? In a browser, give us the power, right? Browser give us power of all this API. Set timeout, DOM API. So in the DOM API, you have document. Remember, you do all that document dot get element by ID and all that. So this is all coming from the window document. Okay, that's from the browser. Fetch. So we were here now, right? What happened when we have fetch function or promise, a function return from promise? Okay, so in callback queue, right, if something from set timeout or DOM API, if function coming from set timeout or DOM API will go to the callback queue, and this event loop will be monitored. It will all the time, it will be checking constantly. Okay, if this call stack is empty or not, right? Let's say there are a lot of code, all is done, right, executing, then something from callback queue here or maybe from here will be pushed to the call stack. Okay, so in our code here we have a how many things are we have, right? We have start, then we have set timeout, then we have this event, right? Event loop. So callback from set timeout, so I'll just call this callback from set timeout, callback function, right? From set timeout, and then this will be event function, correct? We have the HC, right? Handle control event function, that is also callback function. And then we have fetch, right? This fetch function, or it will return promise. Okay, so here it will be a promise, right? Promise. All right, I mean, just imagine this function returns promise for us, right? And we have some data here. That means when you have async and await, right, that is a promise function already. The get data is a promise function. Clear? So how it will work now, right? So when, let's say in our code, normally it will, when it start executing, right, it will print this one, then this function will move to the browser API. Where is that? Here. So that function, right, let's call it callback time. Okay, that function move here with 5000 timer, right? 5000 millisecond. That's, yeah, it move here, right? So you have to put in the millisecond time, right? This is a millisecond. So that is like a 5 second, right? Correct, 5 second, but just call it millisecond. Okay, because we are writing in millisecond, right? So now what else we have? So you're gonna console log start. The first line will print start here in the console. The second will be this timer function, right? Callback function from our API, so it will be pushed here with timer. The next one is event, right? So event, so handle click, right? That event function push here is just waiting here, right? And then next one is get data. Okay, get data, that function is waiting here now, correct? They all part of this browser API. This is waiting. So once timer expire, right, it will be the callback function from the event and the set timeout will be go to callback queue. Okay, callback queue here. So they will move here, right? When timer expire, it will move here. Handle control will move here, right? Handle click will move here. But get data function will go to the micro task queue. Get data, right? It has separate place now, micro task queue, and micro task queue has first priority, higher priority. Okay, priority, right? Higher priority. So they all in their boxes. This event loop will be keep checking, right? Keep moving, keep checking. Let's say all the work is done, executing, start, in, maybe there will be millions of line code in between, right? All is done. Just imagine that. Then it will push this one first. The get data, right? Get data function will be go to our call stack, get data, okay? Then this is a function, so it will do the same thing, create execution context and all that work, right? And then it will console log whatever it has to do. So, and after that it will push callback timer. Once this is done, then this will be pushed, okay? And then every time when you click the button, right, this event will be, when there is event, then this function will be pushed to the call stack. Clear? So that's how it works, right? So let's look at the code now. Here, go to inspect. So we have click button as well. So if you go to the console, right, let's refresh this page and pay attention, okay? Start, in, then the promise function came back already, and then that came back, right? See that? Set timeout. Okay. Now if I click button, see, then that function will be pushed to the call stack. Clear? Guys, clear? Anyone? Any doubt now? So that's how it works, right? So what is the job of event loop? The event loop will constantly monitor call stack and the microtask queue box and the callback queue box, right? If it receives some function inside here in the queue, right, the event loop will manage to send it back to the call stack to execute the code, because we only have one call stack and it runs one after another, right? It just runs one function at a time. Clear? So that was the theoretical part, right? You guys have to understand. Next week we're gonna learn about promise. Okay, we're gonna learn about promise because we have now the promise also, right? We're gonna have callback function, you know. So we will check all that on the next week. Okay, guys. So I'll just stop here for now.